Hi, welcome to Life Skills with Louie. I'm Louie. Today, I'm talking about when and how to find a prescriber to consider medications. If you haven't watched the introduction to the entire video series, I encourage you to do that in order to understand all the different sets of skills and when to use them. And this is another introductory video on what I think is a really important topic. I think it's tragic and understandable that there's a lot of issues with trust around medications in our culture and every culture. There's a lot of ways in which power has been abused and untrustworthy people have been in charge and have done things in regards to medications that have either caused harm or made people suspicious. And there's so many reasons I come across as to why people are scared when it comes to medications, all of which are understandable. People have fears of uh, that who they are will change inherently, that they'll be controlled in some way. People have fears of being dependent on someone for something and the wish to do things on their own. People have fears of what it means that they take a medication. Does it make them X, Y, or Z, whatever judgment they have? Sometimes this runs in families, which makes it hard for people. But the fact remains that for some people, medications can be really helpful. And so if you try therapy and it's not quite enough, of course, you can look for other therapists if it's not a fit, but sometimes more help is needed. And I think it's a good idea to just have someone on call that you can talk to about it. A key thing for people to know is that going to see a prescriber does not mean you have to take a medication. You're under no obligation, even if you have ongoing relationships with the prescriber, to be on a medication. I have a number of people I see who I think might benefit from medication in the future. They're not comfortable right now, and we still see each other for appointments. So you're under no obligation to take a medication just because you talk to someone, and hearing their opinion could be really helpful. The way I think about medications is that it's a help, and it's most times meant to be something that can be short term. If you get help in therapy, you can work through a lot of things that can make you feel overall better and allow you to release the need for medication. But if there's a lot going on in life that affects you biologically, it affects your brain, it affects your neurotransmitters, and sometimes medication can just be a bit of extra help. And in a world where a lot of people don't receive a lot of help, just getting a little extra help, especially if it doesn't have any side effects, could be a great thing. Also, for other people, some people, like a percentage, medication is really needed, and they can't live to their highest potential without it. Certain diagnoses, and I'm not a big fan of the names we give things, but diagnoses that affect people's perceptions or affect people's moods in more extreme ways, with very high moods and then very low moods. Um, they can really benefit from being on medication continuously to kind of right an imbalance that exists. And this is no different than some people having conditions physically that require them to take a medication to find a balance in that way. Someone who has diabetes, who doesn't produce enough insulin, they take the insulin so that they can live their life. And that's that. So, how to find a prescriber? First, talk to your primary care doctor. If you don't have a primary care doctor, I strongly encourage you to have one. That is a great, solid, foundational relationship. And primary care doctors can prescribe some psychiatric medications and feel comfortable. And if they don't feel comfortable, they probably have someone they can refer to. You can also look for a clinic, a behavioral health clinic in your area. That's a good place to start. As far as who prescribes medications, just for those that may not know, there are kind of two main prescribers. You have advanced practice nurses, um, who have gone through extra training after being nurses to be providers of medication, and then medical doctors, MDs, who have gone through training to be prescribing medications. Both of these options are great, and both of these types of prescribers can be wonderful. What matters most is someone's level of experience and how much they've worked on themselves and how just good of a person they are. And of course, their amount of knowledge that they've accrued, which has a lot to do with how much they keep learning over time. So give people a chance. If it's not a fit, if your intuition says this person's not right for you, keep looking. You are welcome to shop around. And if you have a primary care doctor that you trust, you can run things by them as far as, does this person seem like a good fit? So if you have problems with functioning and therapy isn't quite cutting it, I really encourage you to consider seeing a prescriber. And if you're on the fence, I would say just give it a go. Um, Many prescribers are wonderful, caring people who just want to help. And sometimes they really can offer a lot of help, and your life can be so much happier. So please consider it.